Despicable Me 4. What do I have to say about Despicable Me 4? Not really much. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. And the note that I left was needed more minions and less plot. And I think that sums up exactly what I felt like I needed from that cinematic experience. I needed more minions, and I get it. They're trying to make me go watch the Minions movies, but I'm watching Despicable Me for the Minions. And so I needed more minions. Hello everyone, my name is Christian Vitek and welcome back to Seat at the Table, a podcast where I talk about anything and everything in my life, and I invite you, please, come pull up a seat while I lay everything out on the table. Today, I want to catch you guys up on what has been going on in my life. I feel like I've been so busy, life has been so wild, and everyone's out enjoying their summer ventures and vacations, and I have been working. I have been working to protect and defend democracy, and I feel like I have not updated y'all on what I have been up to, what has been going on, because I've been focused on other stuff in podcast episodes. But I do want to start with, I feel like this is becoming a trend where when I'm doing an episode, at some point within the episode, I will do a movie review, because for some reason I have been literally obsessed with going to the movies this summer. I don't know what it is, and I know I talked about it before. It's like there's a movie theater anywhere you go, and the experience parallels all the other movie theater experiences. You get the popcorn, you get the drink, you watch the movie. It's copy and paste experience. And so it makes you feel like you have an anchor for wherever you go. So in the past 2 weeks, I've been to the movies twice and I've seen 3 different movies. So I did my first ever kind of double feature experience at the movies, and low-key was really fun. Although when you get to the second movie towards the end, you do start getting a little bit tired. So I did just confess to not partaking in Barbenheimer summer, so please don't leave hate comments below. Only positive vibes in the comments. No. I did not partake in Barbenheimer summer. I watched Barbie twice, and I watched Oppenheimer 0 times. It's like a 2.5 hour movie. And I went to go watch it on Peacock when it first was released on streaming. And what am I going to do for 2.5 hours sitting there watching a movie? I'm going to have to break that up into 3 different watches, 2 different watches. So anyway, I've seen 3 different movies in the past 2 weeks. The first movie I watched was Twisters. Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgar Jones, phenomenal. I love a natural disaster movie. I don't know what it is about it. I love it. And I've talked about this before with end of the world monster movies. Add natural disasters into the file of movies that I am sat for. Sat. Also, I just am realizing I didn't turn on the ring light, so I will be right back with some better lighting. And I'm back. Okay, so I'm already feeling more gorgeous. Lighting does make a difference. It's if you do not have the proper lighting, which I have come to discover through this whole channel, it's giving crease, it's giving bags, it's giving everything you do not need to be doing a YouTube video. So thank you to my ring light. So back to the movies. I went and saw Twisters with Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones, and it was good. So I kind of prepped going to see Twisters by watching Twister number 1, the OG, the original Twister. And it was wild to see the cinematic experience of the older one versus it's not really a remake though, because it's not the same plot. It's not the same story. It's just kind of the same realm. But it was a really good movie. So they had this scene where they were at a rodeo, and it was giving like stands of where you could get like a corn dog or a turkey leg or some popcorn or funnel cake, French fries, and like it is peak fair season right now, peak county state fair season, and I was like, this reminds me of home. Like me watching them at the rodeo. And I've never been to a rodeo before. I've seen the tractor pulls, I've seen the horse shows, but rodeo seems like something that I would like to see at some point. I would like to be in a little cowboy boot moment with my cowboy hat, a flannel and jeans, and be sat for the rodeo. And actually, when I was in college, there was this one girl that was like, I think she was from Texas, and what is it? The Houston rodeo, I think, might be like a huge thing. And she's like, you have to come. It's amazing. And then I saw pictures of it on her Instagram, and it looks fun. Like, and then they hold like huge concerts too. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So Twisters was very good. I don't remember what I gave it on Letterboxd, but I'm thinking about it. I probably gave it like a 3.5 or a 4. It wasn't like the best movie I've ever seen, but like it was worth me sitting down and like watching the movie. But actually, let me not spoil it for you guys. But at the end, no, I'm not gonna spoil it. But sorry, I'm looking to see what I gave it on Letterboxd. I gave it a 3.5. And what? And the note that I gave it was save a horse. Glenn Powell, you have done it again. Oh wait, no. This is someone else's review. Where's my review? I'm sorry to whoever that was. That was just horrible. Okay, so my review was a 3.5, so I agreed with the person before me. But my comment that I left was the rodeo, ... chef's kiss. What can I say? I'm consistent. So then Twisters was the first half of the 2-part day at the movie theater. And so after that, I went and I saw Despicable Me 4. 5? How many? How many Despicable Me's are there? I saw one of the Despicable Me's. Let's see. I think it was 4. Despicable Me 4. And so I was already a little bit tired. Like, I could have called it quits for the evening, but I was like, out with friends, and I'm like, okay, let's go do something. Like, we're here. We might as well do something. We had just gotten dinner. Like, and we weren't really feeling going out. So we're like, okay, like, the movies are right. We were having dinner right near the movie. So we're like, okay, we'll go back. So, Despicable Me 4. What do I have to say about Despicable Me 4? Not really much. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. And the note that I left was needed more minions and less plot. And I think that sums up exactly what I felt like I needed from that cinematic experience. I needed more minions. So the plot for Despicable Me 4, it was kind of like divided where like you had like Gru and the family and whatever, ending the world, and then they like took all the minions away from Gru, and so like they had a subplot with all the minions, and that's not why I'm going to the movie theater. And I get it, they're trying to make me go watch the Minions movies, but I'm watching Despicable Me for the Minions. And so I needed more minions. And they introduced this thing where like it just like didn't make sense. I'm sure it was great for kids, but the plot was very messy. And so that's why I'm now thinking about it, I'm like, maybe it needs 2.5 stars. I don't know. I'll leave it. So more minions, less plot. I'm there to laugh at them, and that's on period. And then the most recent movie that I have watched was Deadpool and Wolverine. And let me start by saying I am a Marvel fan. I used to go to the movie theaters like during the Avengers era, and I was sat for every movie. They started losing me around like Ant-Man and Wasp, but then I got looped back in during like WandaVision. It's just the Marvel Cinematic Universe has become so expansive that you can no longer just sit down and watch a movie without missing the last 10 years of plot that is pretty critical to the film that you're watching. And nobody has the bandwidth to be watching 10 years of film and catching up when they're coming out with limited series on Disney Plus, like different movies from different time periods, like 4 or 5 times a year. I love the movies. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it is off the rail. Okay, Disney, get it together. And I think in an interview, Jamie Lee Curtis said she was asked what phase is the Marvel Cinematic Universe in, and I think she said something about like Lost or Bad or something like that, and then she had to issue a public apology about it. But girl, we were all thinking what you said, so heard and validated. So anyway, I went and watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and I'm not a fan of very like brash, crude humor in the sense that what Deadpool is marketed to the audience as. But I'm like, whatever. Like it's still funny at the end of the day and like humor, and so I was like, oh, like it'll be a good video. It'll be a good movie. And so I went and like kind of like I mentioned, there were a lot of characters from like deep Marvel Cinematic Universe or even like on the fringes of the universe, or maybe not have been included. It was a very hard movie to follow when you did not have all of the information that you needed. But it was still funny. It was still fun. Like it balanced it enough to where like if you haven't seen a lot of the previous movies or Deadpool or Wolverine or the X-Men, like you would be able to still watch it, enjoy it, get a laugh out of it. I will say the music was really good. They had like some good recent songs, and they had this entire like fight sequence that the soundtrack to it was You're the One That I Want from Grease. So wild. And it was really funny. So Deadpool and Wolverine was good. And then not full circle, completely changing the subject, I went to Applebee's. I went to Applebee's. This has nothing to do with the movies that I just watched or that I just discussed. But I went to Applebee's. And I have not been to Applebee's in a couple years, I would say. Like, possibly a long time. And when I tell you, it was like coming home. It was like entering a place where you were family, where you were comfortable. It was so good. And before we start, chain restaurants, when you were born and raised in almost the middle of nowhere, chain restaurants are an anchor. As much as movie theaters are, give me an Applebee's, an Olive Garden, a Chili's, like, again, same universal experience wherever. And I think that's why a lot of people enjoy chain restaurants, because you know what experience you're going to get when you go there. And it's very comfortable. You like it. You know what you're going to get to eat. You don't have to think. You don't have to worry. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Like, you're tapped in. So, I went to Applebee's. Y'all, tell me why they had, like, we didn't go for any reason. Like, we were just like, okay, let's go to Applebee's. Tell me why they set the menu down in front of me, and across the front, you know how they have, like, the extra little divider that they always add to the normal menu? The extra little divider was glossed across the front, and it said, endless. Endless. Endless what? Open up, reading, endless boneless wings, endless riblets, endless breaded shrimp, endless French fries. I'm getting it. I'm tapping in. I'm getting the Applebee's endless. Like, when there is an option to have a buffet that's not at a buffet, because we never talked about the downfall of buffets after the COVID-19 pandemic. Where are they? They never came back. People realized that it was kind of odd that we were like grabbing handles and scooping food, and so was the person before us and the person after us and the person 5 hours ago. But the idea of endless, where I'm going to pay one price and you're going to bring me as many dishes as I want. I'm kind of tapped in. So I decided I was going to get it and did the boneless wings, honey pepper with endless fries. Chef's kiss. It was a heavenly experience. What can I say? And then also about these chain restaurants, they're gonna, if you buy like a drink, whether it be alcoholic or non-alcoholic, but like one of their specialty drinks, 1, they're cheap. 2, they're fun. 3, they taste good. Like, I'm getting one of these fun drinks. And so I got I forget what it was called, but it was like a blackberry lemonade with vodka and moonshine. Girl, I was on the back patio in the sun, relaxing in an Adirondack chair, okay, when I was drinking that. That's the experience I was getting from that. And so, just chilling, relaxing, all cool, shooting some b-ball outside of the school, and enjoying my Applebee's. And love Applebee's, would highly recommend the Endless. And also, like, talk about the marketing techniques of, like, the Dollarita, right? Does anyone else remember Dollarita summer, last summer? And Applebee's, if you're listening, call me. I'll make a TikTok. I'll post something on Instagram. You let me walk into one of your establishments for the endless course. Maybe a gold card for the year. I'll hook you up. I'll be your spokesperson. For legal reasons, I don't know if I can do that. But Applebee's, call me. So that has been today's episode. I did not talk about anything, but I talked about everything. What did we talk about? We talked about the meaning of life. We talked about the human experience. Guys, I am feeling silly, goofy. My life has been so busy. And it's so nice to just be able to sit down and just like talk about stuff that isn't pertaining to work, isn't pertaining to stuff that maybe stresses me out in life. I can just talk about whatever I want because it's my podcast and not yours. No, it's actually, that's so not true. I invited you to pull up a seat. So this is our podcast. Girls are doing it for themselves and we're girls and we're doing it together. And if you don't know the reference, look it up. So that has been Seat at the Table for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment below. Are you an Applebee's fan or are you an Olive Garden, Chili's? What do you tap into? What is your go-to order? Also, I never talked about the 2 for $20, 2 for $23, and 2 for $26 courses from Applebee's, but maybe I'll save it for another time. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.